Today, we're diving into a field that honestly sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but it's becoming a medical reality faster than you can imagine. It's called radiogenomics. Put simply, it's all about teaching computers to look at a medical scan and see a tumor's deepest, darkest genetic secrets. This is totally changing how we fight cancer, so let's get right into how it all works.
Just think about this for a second. What if, instead of a painful, invasive biopsy, a simple CT scan could tell your doctor pretty much everything they need to know about a tumor's unique genetic code? What if a single picture could reveal its secrets, its weaknesses, and exactly the best way to attack it? This isn't just a cool idea, it's the core promise of radiogenomics.
For decades, the gold standard for understanding a tumor was the biopsy. You physically cut out a piece of tissue and send it to a lab. But here's the thing. It's invasive, it comes with risks, and most importantly, it often doesn't tell you the whole story. The new hope, the big dream, is to get all that same deep molecular info, but non-invasively, just by analyzing an image.
So why is a biopsy so often misleading? Well, it all comes down to this really important concept called tumor heterogeneity. See, a tumor isn't just one uniform blob of bad cells. It's more like a chaotic city with all these different neighborhoods of cells, and each neighborhood has its own unique genetic mutations. A biopsy, well, it's like taking a sample from a single street corner and then trying to understand the entire city. You're going to get an incomplete and maybe even a totally wrong map of the enemy you're trying to fight.
Okay, so how do we get a map of the whole city instead of just one tiny block? It all starts with the first piece of our puzzle, learning to see what's invisible inside the medical scans we already take every day. Welcome to the world of radiomics.
So this first piece of the puzzle is radiomics. Think of it like this. A highly trained radiologist looks at a scan and sees shapes, shades, and abnormalities. But a computer running radiomic software, it can see thousands of hidden features in every single pixel of that image, subtle textures, tiny patterns, and gradients that are completely invisible to even the best human eye. It's literally like giving doctors computational superpowers.
The process itself sounds pretty straightforward, but the results are just incredible. You start with the images we already use, CTs, MRIs, PET scans. Then, powerful software goes to work, mining thousands of these hidden data points from every single nook and cranny of the image. But the final step, that's where the real magic happens. Artificial intelligence sifts through this gigantic mountain of data, finding meaningful patterns that no human ever could.
So we can now see more in an image than we ever thought possible. That's huge. But seeing is only half the battle, right? We also need to understand the tumor's fundamental biology. And that brings us to the second half of our story, genomics.
Genomics is basically the study of the tumor's molecular instruction manual. By analyzing its DNA, its RNA, and its proteins, we can create a blueprint that shows us exactly how the cancer grows, how it behaves, and, most importantly, what its weaknesses are.
Now, traditionally, getting this genetic data meant another invasive procedure, a surgical biopsy. But now, there's a total game changer on the scene, the liquid biopsy. This amazing technique can find and analyze tiny fragments of tumor DNA that are just floating around in the bloodstream. It gives us a real-time genetic snapshot of the cancer, all from a simple blood test. How cool is that?
Okay, so let's pause for a second. We have two incredibly powerful tool sets. We've got radiomics, which lets us see hidden patterns in images, and we have genomics, which lets us read the tumor's biological blueprint. The real breakthrough, the aha moment, happens when we build a bridge between the two.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We have all this rich, non-invasive visual data from the scans, and we have this super precise molecular data from the genetic sequencing. But how in the world do you build a bridge between a picture and a gene?
In this diagram right here, this is the master plan. You take the imaging data from radiomics on one side, and you take the molecular data from genomics, which is often just called omics for short, on the other, and you feed both of these massive, incredibly complex data sets into an AI, and its one and only job, find the connection.
The engine that makes this all possible is, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. A human analyst could never, ever find the subtle correlations between thousands of image features and thousands of genetic markers. It's just too much data. But for an AI, this is exactly what it's built for. It's designed to sift through all that noise to find the signal, connecting a specific visual texture on an MRI to a specific gene mutation. And this is radiogenomics. It's the whole field dedicated to using AI to build that bridge between the image and the gene. And the result is truly revolutionary.
Because once the AI learns these connections, doctors can start to predict a tumor's genetics just by looking at a scan. It's like being able to read the entire complex instruction manual just by looking at the book's cover.
Okay, so what does this all mean for patients? Why does building this bridge matter so much? Well, the payoff is a smarter, safer, and way more personalized approach to treating cancer.
And look, this isn't just theory, it's already happening in clinics. For brain cancers like glioma, a scan can now predict a critical gene mutation called IDH, which completely changes the treatment strategy, all without a single scalpel. For lung cancer, it can spot genetic markers that tell doctors exactly which targeted therapy is going to work best. And for breast cancer, it can help figure out if a patient is eligible for certain life-saving drugs. This is personalized medicine in action, right now.
The potential here is just enormous. Radiogenomics isn't just a one-time diagnostic tool. It actually enhances the entire cancer care journey. It helps with the initial diagnosis, it guides the right treatment plan, and it can even monitor how a tumor's genetics are changing over time, all non-invasively. It creates this powerful, continuous loop of learning and adapting the fight specifically to that patient.
So let's just boil this all down. Why does this matter so much? First, it means safer care with fewer risky procedures. Second, it means smarter decisions because they're based on a complete map of the entire tumor, not just one tiny sample. Third, it means treatment can be adaptive, letting doctors watch in real time as a tumor evolves. And finally, it means truly personalized medicine, getting the right drug to the right patient at exactly the right time.
You know, ultimately, radiogenomics represents a fundamental shift in how we even think about disease. We're moving from just treating what we see on the surface to deeply understanding the enemy, from its largest structure all the way down to its smallest genetic code. It really makes you wonder, with AI as our new microscope, what other invisible secrets are we going to teach our computers to see next?